This year's NATO summit is extra noteworthy that it's taking place in Washington, D.C., where the North Atlantic Treaty was forged 75 years ago. Let's discuss more about the 75th edition with Professor Kim Dong-soo this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning. So please do tell us what makes this year's NATO summit particularly noteworthy or any special?
Yeah, like you said, the summit will be held in Washington, D.C., which marks the 75th anniversary of NATO's founding. So this significant milestone underscores the importance of the alliance and its enduring role in global security. So this summit underscores NATO's increasing focus on global security challenges beyond its traditional Euro-Atlantic area. By involving leaders from non-member countries, NATO aims to address interconnected threats such as cybersecurity, terrorism, and the rise of authoritarianism. So South Korea and NATO have been strengthening its cooperative ties. So President Yoon's repeated invitations highlight the alliance recognition of South Korea as a key partner in addressing global security threats.
Right. And when speaking of tackling global security challenges, NATO and its four Indo-Pacific partners, including South Korea, are expected to issue yet another strong warning to North Korea and Russia for their risky military collaboration. The question is, how strong will that message be this time?
Yeah, NATO and its four Indo-Pacific partners, including Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and South Korea are expected to issue a robust warning to North Korea and Russia regarding their risky military cooperation. Their statement will likely to strongly condemn any military collaboration between North Korea and Russia, emphasizing the destabilizing effects on global and regional security. It will highlight the violation of international norms and potential threats such collaborations pose to peace and stability. So the message will be strong both in its content and its implications, aiming to deter any further military collaborations by highlighting the severe repercussions and united opposition of NATO and its partners. It will also serve as a signal of the growing strategic alignment between Euro-Atlantic and Indo-Pacific security concerns.
And of course, the Ukraine crisis will no doubt be on the agenda, specifically seeking ways to, back the troubled country. What kind of aid deal should we expect to come out? Specifically, will South Korea decide to provide lethal aid to Ukraine or not just yet? What do you think?
The NATO summit will undoubtedly focus on ways to support Ukraine. I think diverse options may be considered, including military aid, financial aid, humanitarian aid, and sanctions and economic measures. I think South Korea has so far refrained from providing lethal aid to Ukraine. South Korea instead has focused on non-lethal aid and humanitarian assistance. Considering domestic public opinion and its strategic relations, South Korea is likely to continue its support for Ukraine through enhanced non-lethal aid and humanitarian assistance. However, if there is significant changes in global strategic landscape and domestic public opinion, South Korea would consider providing lethal aid to Ukraine too in the future.
Right, it will be a difficult decision for Seoul to make. And it's widely believed that NATO members will direct a statement toward China, especially for aiding Russia in the Ukraine war. Now, should we expect the same level of criticism on Beijing this time?
Yes, I think it is very likely that NATO members will continue to criticize China significantly, particularly for its perceived support of Russia in the Ukraine war. Mm-hmm. The intensity of this criticism can be expected to be on the similar level or even greater than that of the previous year. China's threatening behavior in the Indo-Pacific region and beyond is a growing concern for NATO. This includes issues like the militarization of the South China Sea, tensions over Taiwan and its Belt and Road Initiative, which NATO perceives as a means of extending China's influence globally. Also, this year's summit is committed to defending democratic values and human rights. So the emphasis on China will reflect NATO's comprehensive approach to addressing global security challenges beyond its traditional Euro-Atlantic focus.
Definitely, it'll be inevitable almost for the NATO members and also the IP4 members to keep China in check. And Professor, this week's NATO summit will be U.S. President Joe Biden's first international event following his debate against Donald Trump last week. Now, apparently, NATO member states are worried that Trump may return to the White House. Is that so?
Yes, it is reported that NATO members are very concerned about the possibility of Donald Trump returning to the White House. During his presidency, Donald Trump frequently criticized the NATO, questioning the values of the alliance. He also pressured member countries to increase its defense spending, which created tensions within the alliance. By contrast, President Biden is likely to use the NATO summit as an opportunity to reassure allies of the U.S. unwavering commitment to NATO and collective security. So this summit may be a good opportunity for Biden to overcome his defeat in the debate last week.
All right, let's see how that goes. Professor Kim Dong-soo, thank you so much for your time and insight this morning. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.